Good evening, friends. Today, actually, Sri Iyer, who is normally the person who is the presenter as well as the sponsor of the talk, he is on travel, so he is not able to be here. So, to that extent, I will carry on as a independent monologue, and of course, I will take some of your question in the end. Today is a very interesting development. We had a title of the topic to be family based politics dying in India. And coincidentally, the results of the Bombay municipal as well as several other cities like Thane, Pune, and Nagpur, and several places reveal the decline of the Thackeray empire, which is very, very interesting and important. It's a tectonic shift, if you ask me. After something like, say, 60 years of their dominance or 50 years, they had complete control to the extent that person, what is his name, the assistant to Thackeray, he boasted that in 10 minutes they can bring Bombay to a standstill. That is something very Sanjeev Raut. And actually, I always used to feel some people retire from politics on moral grounds. He should retire on oral grounds. Anyhow, the audacity of claiming such a thing that in 10 minutes we can bring Bombay to a standstill is similar to some other Islamist preachers couple of months before telling that give us 3 minutes, we will finish off the entire Hindutva crowd and other thing. These type of boasting reveals the mentality of the persons who are making these claims. Anyhow, so in Mumbai itself, they lost badly the Thackeray, the Matoshri building. And within that, again, if you look at it, the MNS, which is more rabid, if you ask me, the Raj Thackeray faction, they got mauled actually. They were less than 10. And of course, Congress is on a secular decline from 1990. If you look at the performance in Bombay Council, they are, continuously. In other words, secular decline may not be a good word to explain it for them because they will immediately say this is all communal propaganda. It is a monotonic decline. In other words, it's not something decline and increase and decline or anything. It continuously declined, and today it has landed themselves in, I think, 15 or so seats only. In Bihar, they had 6 seats only. Here in the Bombay Municipal Council, which once they were in majority actually, more than 100 in the 90s. Today they have got Congress is also a family based party, and they are also on decline. If you take major states like West Bengal, Bihar, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Tamil Nadu, and United AP in those days, you will find the all these put together constitute something like 240, 250 MP seats. And in all these states, Congress is in a decline. It is either completely not present, as in, say, West Bengal or in uh, Bihar or in UP, or marginally present, as in the case of Maharashtra. Of course, Tamil Nadu, they are having oxygen given by the DMK. Otherwise, Congress is in a very, very difficult situation. They are between, if you ask me, ICU and mortuary. And Rahul going on telling about vote chori and other thing, EVM not working, and it is not for public consumption. It is for the consumption of his own party, dispirited followers, because they are wondering what is happening to Congress. And there is inside Congress, there is slowly dissent is brewing. Some of them wanting Priyanka to take over and run the show compared to Rahul. Because Rahul is, in Vietnam, in Thailand, in US, in Muscat, and he is a globe-trotting leader. Often on he comes to India, meets his followers or whatever it is, and then claim that votes have been stolen. And this whole campaign by him is not, again, let me repeat, is for his dispirited followers who are in fewer and fewer numbers in order to keep their hopes alive. And after this Maharashtra debacle and the earlier Bihar one, his position in Tamil Nadu and Kerala is going to be much more precarious. Let's come to that a bit later. Basically, these family based parties are identity based, either on language or on caste or on religion. You have Mufti Muhammad at Kashmir, which is based on religion. It's she wants to pass it on to her daughter, and her daughter also stood for election in the last time. And she herself is the daughter of earlier Mufti Muhammad, who was home minister of the country actually. Her sister was supposed to have been kidnapped. Some people say it was all stage managed. Anyhow, at that point of time, the terrorists were released in order to get her back to the mainstream. And there, the identity is Islamic identity. Off and on, she will come out with some statement supporting these, separatists and terrorists. If you ask me, what are the blunders committed by the Saffron group is to support her to be chief minister for 5 years. Anyhow, that's a separate story. So, our insistence on having the religious identity. You have then these Mulayam Singh and Lalu Prasad clan families, whose main identity is in terms of being Yadavs and Muslims being the combination. They call it proudly MY. And the Bihar election revealed that identity is not a major consideration and they were decimated. And I am sure the similar fate awaits the Akhilesh Yadav family in Uttar Pradesh. The point of fact is we have to understand India of 2025 is totally different than what it was in 1970. For instance, DMK thinks that we are still in the 70s, which is not true. Of the 140 crore population, 40 crore roughly you can call 35 to 40 crore in terms of families, roughly 20 crore can be considered as belonging to lower middle class and middle class, aspiring middle class. Of this 20 crore is something like, of course, 40 crore, 20 crore doesn't pay taxes. 50% of the population you can roughly estimate to be not paying taxes because agriculture is not taxed in our country. Anyhow, even if you take a lower estimate of 15 crore, 15 crore people can be classified as belonging to middle class. This middle class is in urban, semi-urban, partly urban areas. For instance, a place like Tamil Nadu, 67% is urban. Not many people are even aware of it. Many people are still talking about poor farmers and all these things. Anyhow, good number of them are middle class and are aspiring middle class, lower middle class. And this middle class is not very enthusiastic about identity politics anymore. Most of them want to send their children to English medium private schools, and most of them want to communicate in English or in mixed language, and many of them are not very fond of this identity of language and some cases even caste. So this is the situation. A larger identity of being a Hindu is the only thing which is dominantly coming out for these 15 crore population. This is something which we will come to immediately. And we have other family-based groups like this Chandrasekhar Rao group in Andhra Pradesh, where that Kavita got expelled from the party. Many of them have this family quarrels or problems, like this Patali Makkal Kachi in Tamil Nadu. The father and son are at loggerheads. One of them expelled the other, and that's going on. And so these family-based groupings are facing crisis. The reason is very simple. Not only identity-based politics for external, they are primarily interested in making money. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's be very clear about it. They want to enrich their family or extended family. For next 4 to 5 generations, they want to accumulate wealth. In this, one exception is this Andhra Pradesh Chandrababu Naidu. As of now, he is not in any identity politics. He is in development. He wants to have more corporates, more investment, more industrialization, and other thing. And he and his son are totally for development-based politics, and they are aligned to the central government as of now. That is the BJP. So they are not identity-based politics, and they are doing in their own way differently. So those who are, including the Mamata, for instance, Vaipo they call it in terms of her nephew, that is the type of the family-based politics they are indulging in. And another non-family-based politics is that of AAP, which is Kejriwal. But they are relatively very small in terms of their reach. And the major one in the southern side is the DMK, which, the father Karunanidhi passed it on to his son, and he wants to pass it on to his own son and grandson. So the political party called DMK has been captured by this family. It's very interesting. Karunanidhi is not one of the founders of DMK even. If I recall, something like 27 people assembled, and he was 28th to give the address. He was not one of the primary. Originally, it used to be called the Major Five. He was not one of them, but he hijacked the party, and not only that, he captured it completely and made it into his family, property, and he made his son as the CM. So that is another family-based party, which is, I'm sure, will have its own difficulties in the time to come, like every other family-based parties. Then we have smaller parties like DMDK. That's also a family-based party. That film actor Vijaykanth, he passed away. Then his wife has taken over the party along with his brother. So that these are very small, what one can call pressure groups or small groups. Over a time period, what has happened? If you look at Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, quite a number of parties were there. Socialist parties, SSP, PSP, Praja Socialist, Samyukta Socialist, and various other type of groupings were there. All of them have got practically disappeared. Now there are only two major poles in terms of Congress and BJP. What has happened originally when Congress was a major power, when BJP was not very much in the picture, many of these family-based parties were providing opposition to Congress. And obviously at state level, you require some amount of opposition. And that opposition was provided by these regional, they are called regional forces, but that's a stupid explanation. They are primarily family-based enterprises in order to make money. That is their primary reason. This Chandrababu Naidu, I told you, is a counterexample. He is not focusing so much on identity-based politics. And Andhra is a very interesting situation. Potti Sriramalu, originally in 1952, he was a major leader of independent movement and Congress. He fasted to death in order to get the Andhra Pradesh state at that point of time based on language. He is maybe one of the few leaders who really fasted and died. Unlike contemporary leaders, many of them are fasting unto death from breakfast to dinner, lunch, and then they say they are fasting. Fast unto death. One of my friend quipped that it is fast unto opponent's death, not that fellow's death. Nobody has died recently by fasting. So this is the situation of Potti Sriramalu. And after his death, there was a huge amount of riots and other thing. And finally, Nehru constituted the State Reorganization Commission, and Andhra Pradesh became a separate state. And out of that, separately, this side, Karnataka became a state, and Tamil Nadu, Madras Presidency became a separate state, and Kerala. And Maharashtra and Gujarat also became two separate states. This is the original demand was made by a Telugu, Putti Sriramalu. And the same state, very interestingly, has split into two in terms of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. So the language for which the state was formed, that state itself has completely renounced it and become into two states. So this is something very interesting to observe and note. And maybe due to that or whatever the reason, Chandrababu Naidu is not practicing any identity politics in terms of caste or in terms of language. Caste maybe to some extent because he belongs to the Naidu community and quite a number of his groupings may be supporting him. Like Ramarao was supported by the Kama community. Anyhow, at least he is not proclaiming it to be the primary thing. So a lot of these family-based parties are in great crisis today because the alternative to Congress has emerged in the form of BJP as a counterpole. And BJP has got a substantial portion of other backward caste or BCs as their core support base. They also have SC, STs slowly veering around to many of their locations and in the electoral politics. So the other pole has come. So the role of these family-based parties have become much questioned. And their primary role, as I told you, is to make money in terms of tender, in terms of to that extent, the defeat of Thackeray group in these municipal polls in Maharashtra is a big blow to them because that is one of the major ATMs which they were controlling, and all that is going to be difficult in the future. So that is so have we come to the end of the family-based political ruling in India? If you ask me, to some extent, yes. Because the other pole of Congress used to be family-based party, and Congress itself has become a family-based party. Unless Congress does some major tectonic shift or major type of internal change, it's going to be very difficult for Congress to survive as a family-based party because the grip of Rahul Gandhi is not so strong as it used to be that of Indira Gandhi or that of Jawaharlal Nehru. And his writ doesn't run. And that's very clear in the way in which he is dealing with this Karnataka situation. And he is also losing significant number of states in election. It is more or less realized now that he is not a vote gatherer or vote getter. And in politics, if you do not get adequate number of votes and occupy position, you are not treated as a major leader. People want leaders who get a position for them. This is very, very important. So we have to wait and see whether Congress try to rejuvenate itself, try to recreate itself. But according to me, it may not be possible under Rahul Gandhi. It might be possible with a new leader or something, because Congress still has got some amount of followers in every state, every jilla. So it's not something which is completely gone. But other family based parties are going to find it very tough to justify their existence. This is something which we have to recognize, and the entire political situation in the country is having a tectonic shift. You can see that the eldest son, Tej Pratap, is being wooed back by Lalu Yadav in order to come back to the family. And his daughter is already on a war path and left. So many of these families might try to reconcile or might try to bring unity, but that may not be adequate. As I told you, the huge number of middle class is no more enamored by identity based politics. They want development, they want more roads, more aeroplanes, more type of facilities, and they are all on EMI based, what one can call living. So the 70s are no more to be considered as a base or considered to be the norm for many of these family based parties. And they are losing their importance, Ilan Vital, as it one would call it. Their root cause of their existence is being questioned. So they are all either will be absorbed by BJP, or they will all slowly die down. As I told you, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and Rajasthan gives you a clue to the shape of things to come in terms of two major opponents, and whether Congress will be in a position to take up that challenge and become the other pole is important. The last but not least is, in all this development, what could happen is the Hindutva forces might become very strong all over the country. What is the issue in that? Issue is it should not be make Hinduism as a Semitized or in terms of completely Islamized Hinduism. That would be a very, very drastic situation, because we have so many type of sampradaya, so many type of practices, and all these let 100 flowers bloom is our fundamental ethos. So our ability to have a larger Hindu identity and at the same time have several sub identities should be preserved. This is going to be a major challenge in the coming period, how to have multiple identities and how to preserve all these multiple identities within a overall framework of Hindutva. So that is going to be a very, very interesting and important issue for the next 10 years, if you ask me. How to, how not to Semitize or how not to Islamize Hinduism. That's not a very appropriate thing to do. So the family based parties would all die down, And the other pole has to be Congress, which one doesn't know is capable of taking the challenge. Sorry. But more important is the Hindutva forces which are coming up, which is very natural because Gandhian method of Iswar Allah Tere now doesn't seem to work. It has worked. It didn't work in the 40s. It didn't work in the 50s. Finally, we got into two countries. So much water has flown down Kaveri and Ganga, and so it is very natural and normal for Hindu identity to be asserted. Nothing wrong about it. But to preserve, let 100 flowers bloom under that umbrella is a very major challenge. And that has to be carefully looked at. That is the fallout of the decline of the family-based parties, which we should seriously consider. Thank you very much. Thank you all. How long Ponmudi judgment going to drag despite? So you didn't ask me about 2G. So that is okay. So this will go on. Hopefully within the next 10 to 20 years, this many of these convictions would become implemented. But even after that, for instance, you may or may not, you may recollect, Lalu Yadav is a convicted criminal. He is on bail on health reasons. But he is, he goes to Singapore, he comes back, he goes to Delhi, he visits all the places. And so our entire, this criminal jurisprudence system, jails, doctors, entire thing is in a big question mark. Thank you. Yeah. It is happening actually. Revival is already taking, not many people are even aware of what is happening in the ground. For instance, some 30 years before, you can't talk in terms of Hindu Munnani. Today, they are occupying an important position and place. So you just wait and see for the next 4 or 5 years. That competition would be there, but unfortunately, we don't have SM Krishna on this side. Sorry, that is the only point. Thank you. Yes, it will happen. The middle class in Tamil Nadu also are not enthusiastic, but it could be replaced by some nitwit like Vijay. That is what is the worry or consideration. Let us wait and see the decline. Otherwise, the family politics is over. Take it from me. Will it increase the corruption? Yeah, term limit, I am with you. 2 terms, only one can be a minister or a member of parliament or anything. 2 terms of 5 years, 10 years is too long a period. If not member of parliament, at least for ministers, they should hold for 2 terms only. And many parties have this, including BJP has got this 2-term limit for their presidents. Same thing can be introduced in terms of positions. I am with you on this. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for your thing, and thanks. I'm sure next time Iyer will join in order to facilitate the discussion. Thank you very much.